The best of money matters. Right Business.
Welcome to The Right Business, where we dive deep into the stories of trailblazers who dare to disrupt the status quo, find the gap in the market to find the right business. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now picture this, the sun shining bright, your energy bill shrinking, and your home going green, all without the big, scary upfront costs. Well, it's a reality now, thanks to GetSolar. Despite the fact that solar power is cheaper than fossil fuels, less than 1% of rooftops in Southeast Asia are equipped with solar panels. Why? Because that hefty upfront cost has been a major roadblock for many property owners. GetSolar's innovative approach is flipping the script. No more saving up for years to go solar. GetSolar's solar as a service model offers a zero upfront cost solution that makes adopting rooftop solar as easy as flipping a switch. So to find out more, joining me today are Luke Ong, who is the co-founder and COO at GetSolar, and Bolong Chew is the co-founder and CEO of GetSolar. Luke and Bolong, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much for joining us. Perhaps we can start off with Luke here. What inspired you to, start GetSolar and transition from solar AI technologies to your current business model?
Well, actually, for this question, maybe Bolong
Okay.
could take this one.
Yeah, sure. I think I grew up caring a lot about poverty and equal opportunity. And about 8 years ago, then started realizing that the most negative impacts of climate change affect people at the bottom of the pyramid the most, which was when I started moving into this space. GetSolar as a company, we were first incubated under a French energy company called Hongbin. And over the last couple of years have really been focused on targeting a way to try and bridge the trust and awareness of rooftop solar by making it as simple as possible for everyone to get solar, in particularly with our rent-to-own model.
I see. So how does GetSolar's rent-to-own model work, and why do you guys think it's a game changer for homeowners looking to switch to solar energy?
Right, I'll take this one. So maybe I'll take a step back to answer this question, right? There are two big problems with installing solar in Singapore or this part of the world. First is that it's still not very cheap, right? 15,000, 20,000, 25 or more, depending on the size of your house. Secondly, it's a big electrical system on your roof. Who's going to take care of it? What happens if it malfunctions, etc. So we solve these two problems, and to answer your question, right, by defraying the cost of ownership, right? So we have this rent-to-own plans, 5 years and 10 years. If you go for the 5-year plan, there's a minimal down payment, about less than 50% of it. And then you pay us like an installment across the next 5 years. If it's 10 years, zero upfront, and then that monthly subscription or installment, right? So defraying that cost of ownership. Secondly, we offer peace of mind, right? So for the 5 years or the 10 years that you're on this plan, we monitor the system, we help you manage it. Every year we do our annual maintenance, like aircon servicing, basically. We give performance guarantees, so we guarantee that, hey, in this year it will generate this much, so on and so forth, right? So really that peace of mind. So to answer your question, that game changer aspect is being able to solve these two problems.
Amazing. So what challenges did you guys face in securing $1.5 million in seed funding, and how do you plan to use these funds to scale your operations?
Yeah, so we did our $1.5 million round about 1.5 years ago now. At that point in time, being the first in Southeast Asia to really launch this kind of rent-to-own model, I think was something which we needed to educate, investors in the market quite a bit on. But I think at this point in time, we've sufficiently proven that out, right? And we're even moving on to raise our Series A round over the next 3 to 6 months.
I see. Well, as you mentioned earlier, Luke, the upfront cost of, $15,000 or even more for solar installation is often a barrier for many homeowners. So how has, GetSolar managed to reduce or eliminate this hurdle for consumers?
Well, similar to what I mentioned, right? We have the 5-year plans or the 10-year plans, right? And if they opt for, let's say, the 5-year plan, they pay a minimal down payment followed by the installment. And then if they go for the 10 years, zero upfront, and then that monthly installment. So that basically removes that upfront cost of capital.
I see. Well, can you walk us through the customer journey as well, from initial interest to solar panel installation, and how GetSolar simplifies this process compared to traditional methods?
Sure. Well, we do our marketing really well. So typically customers in Singapore, in Malaysia, so we're also in Malaysia, they are interested in solar. They would be searching maybe on Google or on Facebook, Instagram, ads pop up. They then jump over to our website. We have what we call a solar calculator.
Okay.
You're able to input your address, how many floors does your house have, what type of roof it is, etc. And at the end, it churns out a short summary of, this is what the system will look like, this is how much it will cost, etc. Then that feeds into our own internal CRM that we've built ourselves, right? Our sales leads get in touch with the customer, they prepare the proposal, they go for the site visit, just to better understand, this is what the roof looks like, this is how your trunking is going to be, this is where the inverter is going to be, etc. Right? So back and forth, customer is happy, says, yes, I want to go with you. Then we pass it over to the customer success team. Our team prepares the contracts, does the relevant down payments. Then we arrange for that installation, right? Our installation team goes down. Within 3 to 5 days, it's done.
Wow, so fast.
Yeah, it's fast.
I see.
It's fast. And then once it's done, typically there would be a 2 to 4 week wait because you need to get the inspection and commissioning done by Singapore Power. Then the customer can begin to export the excess energy to the grid and see those savings. So that typically is what it looks like.
So what kind of feedback have you guys received from those who've used GetSolar's services, and how has it shaped your approach to further improving the customer experience?
Well, I'll take this one, and Bolong, feel free to chime in. Well, I mean, we've had good feedback. Of course, there's development areas. Typically, the feedback that we've gotten so far, we're pretty timely and fast in our responses. The rent-to-own model itself is that game changer for customers. They love it. The 5-year, 10-year plans, they do like that they don't have to cough up that capital and, of course, having that peace of mind. They like talking to our team members, our sales team, our customer success team. They're very friendly, very professional. In terms of other feedback, let's say development areas, I mean, it could be things like, for example, Singapore is pretty rainy in November, December, right? When heavy storms occur and it's leaking, we need to be a little bit faster and respond to them. So these are some types of feedback. But all in, really like the feedback. We send out a customer satisfaction survey after every installation is done. So, we are on the pulse of what our customers are telling us.
Yeah, one of the things we realized with solar when we're building the business is it's oftentimes a very transactional experience for customers. Right? A lot of solar companies in the market operate a little bit more like a construction contractor. Okay, I'm here, I get the job done, thereafter I'm a little bit out of the picture. But with solar, which is ultimately a pretty long-term investment, a lot of customers sometimes might face issues around roof leakage, around their solar system not generating what they expected in terms of savings. And the rent-to-own model for us really solves that by giving that performance guarantee that Luke mentioned, hand-holding the customer across the entire process, across that entire 5 or 10-year period, till they realize and know how to manage the system themselves, right, before the systems convert to their ownership.
I see. So what are some of the key technical innovations or proprietary solutions that GetSolar has developed to, simplify solar panel installation?
So as a company, I mean, one of our slogans that we often talk about is solar made simple, right? And the reason behind that is all that was spoken about around customer trust and awareness, kind of customer convenience. As a company, we really first started out being much more focused on data science. And on our website now, you'll find a solar assessment tool, which allows customers an instant assessment of the solar potential of their roof, allows them to get an instant quote of how much they need to pay. And this is really powered by computer vision models that we've built in the early days of the business to do that pre-assessment a lot more accurately. Beyond that, then, in this experience of making it simple and convenient, then we've also built quite a bit of automations with our software engineering team to try and streamline that process in terms of payments, billings, etc.
Okay, well, other than the upfront cost here, what do you guys believe is the biggest obstacle in scaling solar energy adoption across Southeast Asia, and how does GetSolar aim to, overcome it?
Well, so in terms of biggest challenges, we find that there's that big piece around trust and awareness. But I think even especially in a market like Singapore where there's not as much roof space, right, but yet being in a very energy dense country, even if we hypothetically maximize out rooftop solar space in Singapore, it contributes to about 14-15% of the entire country's energy usage. And I think the next kind of breakthrough or the next how we progress this market is really about how we can further deploy solar panels on roof spaces, right, on wall spaces, for example, vertical spaces, to try and increase the output of every building.
I see. Is there a way that GetSolar measures and track your impact on the environment and community as well, particularly in terms of reducing carbon emissions?
Yep. So oftentimes, I think when it comes to solar, the carbon emission reduction, it's pretty clear based on simply converting a building's energy usage from fossil fuel sources into renewable energy. However, on top of that, as a company, because quite a bit of our investors also are sustainability-related investors, we do kind of measure our scope 1 to 3 emissions, right? Ultimately, to really make sure that we're not just increasing the amount of solar deployed, but while doing that, also making sure we use the materials and the equipment with the least carbon footprint, as well as ensure that our operations are reducing carbon emissions as well.
I see. Then what role does artificial intelligence also play in GetSolar solutions, and how does it, help optimize the solar installation experience for customers?
So quite a bit of the artificial intelligence that we deployed are in the computer vision models, which are now incorporated into our instant solar assessment tool to give customers a quick instant feedback on how much they're able to save, as well as assess different plans available.
I see. Well, as the renewable energy landscape evolves, what do you guys think will be the next big breakthrough or trend in solar technology?
Right, I'll take this one. Well, there are two things we're pretty excited about. The first is what they call BIPV, which stands for Building Integrated Photovoltaics. Well, typically solar panels as we know it, you put it on the roof. These BIPV panels are things like your more flexible panels that you can place on building facades, for example. And why we find it pretty exciting is in a place like Singapore, land is scarce, the buildings are built up high. Let's say in a condominium, there's not much viable roof space to put solar panels, right? So imagine a future, BIPV panels are around already. Imagine being able to essentially expand or enlarge this surface area to harness the power of the sun, right? So that's pretty exciting for us, and we're definitely trying to keep up to date with some of these trends. The other thing which we are very excited about internally is, so taking a step back, our vision, we're transforming every home and business into a clean energy hub, right? Starting with solar energy generation. So what this clean energy hub we're trying to build is, so the generation is one thing, but then, we have our solar digital assistant to help customers onboard them, get the system on the roof, track which stage they are in their process. So that's the onboarding side. Then there's the monitoring, the management, right? They're able to see the performance of their solar PV system, right? Beyond that, we also want to be able to offer things like EV charging, etc. We also want to do things like energy trading, right? Of all there's basically a whole system around that, right? So that's really exciting for us.
Amazing. And just to wrap up our interview here, what's next for GetSolar then, and how does GetSolar, view the future of distributed solar photovoltaics in Southeast Asia, and what trends are you seeing in the region?
So we're really excited about the future. In the last 6 months or so, we've also successfully expanded into Malaysia, right? And I think moving the model beyond Singapore, which, some may consider a more, air quotes, developed market, in expanding into Malaysia, we really see the potential for installing solar, not just in giving this kind of convenience to customers, but much more practically even defraying a lot of the upfront costs, which many households are unable to fork out, right? And so in terms of being a regional player, in terms of maximizing our impact, this is really like a key focus for us.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, Luke and Bolong, for joining me today.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Hongbin.
Thank you. That was Luke Ong, who is the co-founder and COO at GetSolar, and Bolong Chew, who is the co-founder and CEO of GetSolar. This has been The Right Business with me, Hongbin Jeong.
To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.